Hello, friends.
Hi, friends. We have got a great show for you today.
It's going to get witchy.
Yes. If you didn't know, the spring equinox is coming up. So here to give us some rituals to prepare and tell us how to make the most of it based off of our birth charts is Amanda Mayr.
Let me just tell you, I love a birth chart reading.
I know. I'm so excited for this. I've never actually had one. I've never had a birth chart reading.
Right before we scheduled this episode, before you brought it up to me that you wanted to do this, Ashley, how your pits smell?
Good. I'm just really sweaty, so I wanted to make sure I wasn't stinking up my nice sweater.
So my friend randomly texted me. She's a yoga friend. So, woo-woo. She's like, oh my gosh, I just checked out your co-star. Totally makes sense that you've got that Virgo and that Libra in there. I knew it. It's why you're such an insightful teacher. That was just like a random text I got from her friend.
I told you I have a stellium in the 12th house. Hopefully we'll find out what that means.
Stellium sounds like a new piercing.
It does. It has
I got
like
my stellium pierced. Ooh.
But they say like if you have a stellium, I don't know. Amanda can speak to this.
I have astigmatism.
They say if you have a stellium, it like basically tells you what like your life's mission is. And from what I've understood of mine, I don't like it.
Is it to be a bitch?
I'd prefer that actually. It's actually not that far off, I don't think. It was something like, like sorting out who's who in life or something. I don't know. Every time I look these things up, it's like a different, who knows?
Well, we're going to set the record straight, guys.
Yes.
And then, the Oscars were this weekend, but we don't care anymore. We just don't care. Guys, we don't care anymore.
You've seen one, you've seen them all, and I haven't seen any this season.
And you know what? Like, it's played out. We don't care anymore. So this year we're going to give you the Momtourage Oscars that have very little to do with the actual Oscars.
Just fun and shits and giggles.
That's right. But speaking of shits and giggles, we have our hashtag swag bag, and up next, the shits and the giggles with our kids. Take it away. Can I go first?
Yeah.
All right, friends. Are you ready? You ready for this?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go with the shits first, but my shits is also turned into my tits, which is I'm at that stage of life where I have purchased vagina deodorant. Not for the inside of my vagina, but for years, and this was even before menopause, but for years I've been a V of your leg crease ass crack sweater. Like if I don't wear the right color at the gym, if I wear a light color, just like it looks like there's just a V of sweat there and a little well in the back. And as a professional fitness instructor,
and you're talking about wetness as opposed to stench.
It's both. It's both.
Because I was going to say, then what about Lady Sweet? But we should edit that out.
No, this is not about that. It's not about inside. It's not about inside.
It's the fold.
It's your hip crease.
Got it.
And your ass crack.
Okay.
And then the under the titty.
Oh, I've always been an under the titty sweater.
I am like an under the titty butt crack, and then the V of the edge of your underwear.
There's for me, there's no sweatier under titty time than when I'm in like a robe getting ready for something, like doing my hair and makeup. The tit sweat is just dripping down. And I realize the only reason I feel it then is because I don't have a bra catching it.
Right. But anyway,
and I should probably wash my bras more often now that I've come to this conclusion.
Yes. So it's been getting real, especially since menopause. It's not only when I'm working out or the summer. It's just anytime a flop sweat occurs and I'm wearing pants. You could see it in my jeans through denim. That's how bad.
I've never seen that on you.
Oh my God. Light denim last week.
Woo! Really? So what's the brand you're using?
Lumi.
Is it Mega Babe?
No, Lumi.
Oh, and you can use that on your armpits too, Lumi, right?
Yeah. So I got it and it works.
Huh.
It works.
That should be your hashtag swag bag.
It will be, but I just want to say the shits are that I'm at the stage of my life where I got a specific butt crack deodorant. like 2 weeks ago, my sweat was preparation H suppositories, and now Chinese ass crack deodorant.
Remember how often you used to talk about your vagina smell that someone randomly sent you vagina smelly shit?
I still don't know who they are. I'm using it though. They were just
God bless. Who
they're
cares?
just like, hey, you talk about how your vagina smells so often, it's a problem. Here's some anonymous products sent to you all the way from Australia. I was like, one, I'm glad we have an Australian listener. Two, I'm glad I'm once again a sweaty vagina influencer.
Oh my God.
I want to be known when I die for my sweaty vagina and my rhinoplasty.
And another week where we have to ask, is this your tits or your shits?
Both. It's for both where I tit and I shit, actually. Lumi, get yours today. I have to say, I like that, but they have some like questionable scents where I'm like, I don't want to smell like that.
I also don't like their packaging, like the like
font
logo and font situation.
But it works. And the strangest thing is I brought it up to Fran in a session. I was like, Fran, I'm having mixed feelings about needing vagina deodorant. She goes, is it Lumi? And I was like, Fran, are you getting influenced too? Oh, my tits will be that my therapist friend, who I talk about so much, is in love with Harry Styles.
I love that for us.
She posts Harry Styles content constantly.
How old is Fran?
Fran's like a sassy 58.
Nice. Okay. I mean, I don't blame her. I love me some Harry Styles too. And
I posted a picture of Harry Styles and Paul Rudd, and I was like, has there been a better combination? She's like, you take Rudd, I'll take Styles. And I'm thinking of sending her merch from Harry's house because it's pretty good.
Yeah, it is good.
And what if it says something like, whoever designed that merch.
The same, also his pleasing line, which is like
it's
also very good merch. Yeah. And like the nail polish looks pretty.
You don't even have to like Harry Styles. One of them says like, it's going to be a good day. I was like, we got to get that for Fran. It's got a rabbit on it. I'm like, everything Fran likes, animals, good mental health, and Harry Styles.
Speaking of Harry Styles.
You get a therapist that likes Harry Styles.
Speaking of Harry Styles, I heard a blind the other day about Olivia Wilde, not Harry Styles, that says that she dated Harvey Weinstein. Like she was one of his girlfriends and would get girls for him.
That's not surprising.
No, it really, oh God. This show is all about J-Lo slander, Olivia Wilde slander. There's going to be some men we slander. Who do we hate male-wise?
Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. No, there's definitely guys we talk like. There are guys I hate.
Well, we know that the podcast is there's a divide because we.
What male celebrities do I hate? Yeah. I don't hate Brad Pitt, but I don't love Brad Pitt.
Well, we are pro Ben Affleck, but our editor is not.
Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch. I do hate him. And Tom Hiddleston.
I don't like Tom Hiddleston either.
I fucking hate Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston is like one of my mortal enemies. I hate him.
Oh my God.
Jonah Hill. That's another one I fucking
hate. Jonah Hill.
I'm sorry. Did you see You People?
Yes.
And you thought that was acceptable?
No,
but the audacity this man has to think it's acceptable for him to A, write this movie, and B, I can't.
You know what I like about Jonah Hill? Jonah Hill reminds me of the kid in my mostly Jewish grade school.
We do not claim Jonah Hill.
Listen, I'm not done. Who did the least amount of work for his bar mitzvah, but it ended up being the best bar mitzvah of the year. That's what Jonah Hill, when he's like, I didn't really study my Haftorah that well.
That was me.
I made a mockery in the synagogue, but that party was lit, and you still have the socks to this day that says you dance your socks off.
Jonah Hill is such a pussy of a man. He's
Seth Rogen.
Oh, he talks about, he has such a hang up with all these different people and all these different things, and people thinking that, I remember somebody said that they thought he smelled, which I refuse to watch because it'll give me too much anxiety. I think Jonah Hill is the top of the list for me of male slander. Will always be here for. I cannot stand Jonah
Eve,
Hill.
our editor, basically wants to edit out every time we mention Ben Affleck.
I know, but don't do that. We do like Ben Affleck on this show.
We kind of do.
I mean,
listen, just because you hate J-Lo.
I know he is problematic, and I still like him.
I think he knows he's problematic, and he also doesn't
Everybody
care.
under the sun knows Ben Affleck is problematic, and not one person gives a shit.
It's the only reason
people who hate him.
Matt Damon and him are the only two people that can work together. They're in that Nike movie together. They can only make movies together.
I mean, Matt Damon's problematic himself.
Oh, he's maybe even more problematic.
Is he?
I don't know. Oh, I don't like Mark Wahlberg either.
Oh, me neither.
That's
who
another
person likes anyone who works out 3 times a day? Who likes a man who wakes up at 3 a.m., works out, plays golf every day?
He's very Jesus-y too.
Again. Ugh.
I just
He's
saw
also
him do
racist.
I know, and he
hates gay people.
And speaking of Oscars, he at the SAG Awards. Speaking of Oscars, SAG Awards, he gave the award for Everything All at Once. And he has a hate crime. He went to jail for a hate crime against an Asian person.
Oh, I thought he went for a hate crime against. Was it an Asian person? Oh God, that's problematic all on its own.
Why did they not do the research on that?
Speaking of the Oscars, did you know that the Oscars this year? I don't have tits or shit, so these are my tits and shit. It's just talking shit about celebrities. A mini hot goss. The Oscars this year are having a PR, like a PR crisis center backstage, or they had a PR crisis center backstage in case anyone smacks anyone again. But nobody's going to do that. It's okay, guys. Like, last year was the year to have this situation. Every other year was the year to have this.
Well, you know what? You don't need a PR crisis manager until you have a PR crisis.
I mean, isn't that always the case? By the way,
that was exciting. At least
can we have one more
exciting?
One more critical hot goss?
Yeah, I've got one too.
Okay. So I think you guys all know how much I love South Park because I am a teenage boy at heart.
I like South Park too.
And, you know, we're recording in advance. One of the most recent South Park was Harry Styles. I'm sorry, Prince Harry, not Harry Styles.
And Meghan Markle.
And I have to tell you, again, we have talked about this on the show. I don't love Meghan Markle by any means. I find her disingenuous. I find her inauthentic. However, I do think everything that they're saying is the truth about the royal family. So they have my support in that regard. But this episode was so funny because it was constantly they would be places being like, don't look at me, don't look at me, don't pay attention to me, don't look at me, with these signs and everything. And apparently Meghan Markle is so upset, she's considering suing South Park.
They need to just stop. It's called satire.
Just stop. Get her fucking. She has no sense of humor about herself, this woman.
Well, this was in the book. In the book, they mention that
she has no sense of humor.
Well, the royal family said, "Listen, you have to pick your battles. You can't fight every single thing.
Right?
It's not you to pick and choose. Someone makes fun of you on television. Don't choose that one. Choose a different one.
This wasn't racist in any way. This wasn't misogynistic in any way. This was literally just you guys are so clearly desperate for attention, and it's really fucking funny."
So on that same note, I was listening to Behind the Blinds. # we love you Behind the Blinds.
I know, I was listening
friends.
On my way today and back.
Did you listen to the Adele one? Her
no.
and Harry have had a long torrid affair.
I don't know if I believe that.
I totally believe it.
Why?
There's been mentioned. You got to listen to the episode. There's there's stuff to back it up. In the press, and it's backed up.
I think my favorite Adele blind, again, not listening to that episode, is that she had a threesome with James Corden and Harry Styles on a boat. That is my favorite Adele blind item.
No one should have a threesome with James Corden.
No one should ever see James Corden's penis or acknowledge it. No one should even acknowledge it.
He was in Cats, right?
Yes.
That's all I can
Although
imagine.
You should acknowledge Jason Derulo's penis because it wants to be acknowledged.
Derulo.
Yeah.
Oh, my other hot goss-ish. So the SAG Awards were the day before we recorded this. Coolidge got a new face.
I know. I saw she looks really good. I like it.
Whoever did her work, reach out to us.
I think I think people should do whatever they need to do, and I think she was beautiful and could have continued to have a career. I don't think it was a bad move for her.
No, she looked tired after years of trying to get that SAG award.
So Matt and I are rewatching Party Down because we watched, the new season is out, so we're rewatching as well. And I just got to the couple of episodes, or I don't remember how many she's in, but she's in the episodes I'm watching right now.
She looks like Best in Show.
This was
Jennifer.
13 years ago, and she looks so much less tired.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She looks like all of us, tired of trying to claw our way to the top as a female actor in this.
And now she's back to Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
One more hot goss.
Yes.
One more mini hot goss. And that is, you know how much I loved Bethany Frankel.
She's got that disease.
What disease?
She's got this blood disorder. Don't you see? Is
it what makes her live in the past constantly? Is that what that does? Because I am so fucking sick of her.
It's making her gain weight and her eyes look weird. I can't believe you're not on this, Ashley.
She hasn't gained any weight.
It's something that looks very much like PCOS, but it's not PCOS.
Whatever. I don't care. I don't believe it. She did this thing on TikTok this past weekend. So I guess she went to Aspen. She ran into Kyle Richards. She ran into Lisa Hochstein from Miami. She ran into Heather Dubrow from Orange County. And she talked about it. Then she did a little video where she narrated it like it was Housewives and put a Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip on top. If you hate Housewives, stop referencing it. Just stop it. You are killing the fun for people who love a franchise. And it is just, I just
stick with Skinny Girl.
So bitter and so resentful and so hypocritical. I can't with her anymore. And I hate that because I really love Bethany for a really long time.
That was one of your top people for a while.
One of my queens. And I think TikTok ruined her. And that should be a cautionary tale to all celebrities.
And there you have it.
That's my shits. Bethany Frankel is ruined for me.
Career advice with Ashley. Career corner with Ashley. I'm going to teach a segment on
Take it from me, a highly successful podcaster.
Podcasting from her office, which is also her closet.
Hey, I have a walk-in closet. That is somewhat of a sign of success, I think.
I mean, I know,
and it's color coordinated.
I know you're successful from the amount of white crisp button downs you have. Because no not successful person has that many crisp white button downs. Let me just tell you.
I'm looking to add to the collection every day.
Oh boy. Okay.
Up next, Amanda Mayr. The Spring Equinox is coming up this Monday, the 20th, and we have a fun guest today who is a mom, a birth chart reader, and just a little witchy to chat with us about what that means exactly, the rituals, and how to make the most of it based on our astrological birth charts. Welcome, Amanda Mayr. Hi, Amanda.
Thank you. Hi, it's so good to be here. Thank you so much.
I am so excited for this, and I might have to add a question or two, Ashley. I'm so sorry.
No, I left it like that on purpose, intentionally, so we could ask questions. And I love questions. I wanted to first, before we start with we need to get into basics because I want to make sure that everyone who's listening understands people.
Those astro virgins.
Yes, everyone who is not astrologically aware, a astrology for dummies course, real quick. But may I just say, I have never had my birth chart done. I have always wanted to have my birth chart done. I was not expecting what you sent to us. Oh. Firstly, I'm a Virgo.
Yes,
beautiful presentation.
Beautiful execution.
Thanks. The beautiful. Thank you.
That was the most Virgo shit I have ever seen in my life. She's a Virgo.
Oh, got it. I didn't know she was a Virgo. Was I supposed to know that?
I mean, I feel like it was obvious with what she sent.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, I think maybe can we start with that too? I don't want to take the lead, but I feel like with Ashley. Do you want to share your big three?
Oh, wait. Let's not get into that yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We're getting there. Okay. So let's start with the absolute. I just wanted to talk about the aesthetics because I am a font presentation hoe.
She really is.
Oh, all right.
So let's start with the basics.
She's like, did you see it? I was like, yes, Ashley. I knew you came a little bit in your pants when you saw the color, the font. I know how you are.
I am a big hoe for those things.
It's true.
Okay. So what's the significance of the spring equinox? Can you explain that to us?
Okay, so I love the spring equinox. So the spring equinox happens in the spring, and that's when we start to have equal day and equal night. So we are coming from Pisces, which is, Pisces is like the last sign of the zodiac. It is just like this inward energy where you're it's winter. So if you think about winter, like the last month of winter, just being like kind of inward, and like the trees aren't blooming yet, it's kind of like the earth is still like a little bit like dead, and it's still like gray. And then you come into the spring equinox with Aries. Aries is the start of the zodiac.
That's me, boo. That's me.
That is
yes,
you.
it's such like, I love Aries energy because it's like new and like fresh energy. It's like this invigorating energy.
It's something.
That is Carrie.
It is. Yeah. So if you think about that and like, just the earth in general, we're going from like this dead of winter into like this rebirth into spring, and we're all coming out, like the flowers are blooming, like the colors are vibrant, and that's like the Aries energy. So,
that actually makes a lot of, like, knowing Carrie, that makes a lot of sense to me, as she is an Aries. And I would, when I think of her like as a color representation, it is bright,
hot pink,
not like all reds and pinks. It's like blue,
rainbow,
orange,
yes, this neons.
Yeah, that is the spring equinox right there. Like the skies are blue, like the greens are so green, the colors and the flowers are just so vibrant. So when you think of it like that, like it's like this new energy, and Aries energy is also, it's about the self, So at this time, if you want to speak
talking
to like
about yourself,
yes, like loving yourself, like self-development, So it is about the self. It's about the physical body as well too, and it's about taking that action and taking that, initiative. It's like spontaneity.
Yep, that's the
new
word.
Experiences, new adventures, all that stuff. So when you take that into the spring equinox, taking that energy and, rolling with that. So
it's really.
Sorry. I was just going to say, that's me.
Yeah. And like in terms of rituals too, I think like if you look back to the beginning of the new year and you think of like the seed you planted, if you thought about any of like your new like intentions that you wanted to set for the year, or, rituals that you wanted to like come into play, like if you look back at that time and think about all the seeds you planted, and if none of them have bloomed yet, you can really just like take this time to see like where you can like maybe water those things, and where you can take action and can bring those things to life. So I think that's a really good energy to bring into this spring equinox, and also doing something for yourself, being a little selfish right now, maybe like getting your hair done. I think last year I was like, my rebirth is like getting my hair done. So like doing something like for your physical body, maybe like going out and like buying that new outfit or something like that, or going on a new adventure. And then again, like taking action on maybe the stuff that the seed you planted at the beginning of the year, and like where can you maybe refine or just like water and maybe help like bring those to life.
Is there like a specific time of day that we should do these things, or just like at the spring, anytime on the spring equinox day?
Yeah, I think any time that, we're moms, we're so busy. So I try to get like any pocket of time that I can. I just do it then. If it was like, I think any time during the day is good.
In terms of rituals, and I love this ritual, right? The one that you're presenting, which is do some shit for yourself, which is like the ultimate mom needed ritual. But when I go on like TikTok, because I watch a lot of TikTok.
Does a lot.
There's always like new moon, like put a glass of water outside, and then like use that moon water for whatever, clean yourself, clean your house, water your plants, yada, yada. Is there anything kind of like witchy in that way that's less about like just take time for yourself? I mean, I love that ritual personally, but just wondering if there's anything like that.
I don't think so. And I feel you on that so much, because I feel like every time I go on TikTok, or I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already a new moon. Like I have to do another ritual, or it's a full moon and I have to like reflect on like the last 30 days.
Where's my cinnamon?
Yeah, exactly. So like, I feel like it becomes a lot, and it becomes like overwhelming to keep up with all those things. But I think for like the spring equinox, it's just that like new spring rebirth energy. And it's like makes you feel so alive and so invigorating. It's like this amazing, vibrant colored energy, just like really doing something for yourself. There's nothing with the moon right now that's really happening that you would, do. There is a full moon coming up in Virgo where you can reflect on the last 30 days. I think that's March 5th, March 6th, around that time, but that's the beginning of the March. But yeah, for the spring equinox, I would just like do something for yourself. Aries is about self. So whatever lights you up, whatever makes you passionate.
Also makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. So do you on this spring equinox.
I wouldn't do anything less.
No, you wouldn't.
Okay, so before we get into our specific charts, can you give us like a basic explanation of what a birth chart is and why it's so important?
Yes, I love this stuff so much. And I feel like, I don't know, if you believe in it, I feel like it's kind of wild how like so true it is. And I really feel like it is written in the stars, like so many things. So my approach to astrology is, as above, so below. Like what's happening in the cosmos is reflected here on the planet. I do feel like you've come into this world like with, you chose this lifetime, you chose like your lessons, and you chose like all for your soul's like evolution and growth. So that's my approach to astrology. We picked this lifetime, we picked our birth chart, we picked the placements in the sky, all for our soul's growth and evolution.
Can I ask my question now, Ashley?
Yeah. If this is where it goes, ask it, girl.
Okay, thank you. So speaking of, this is what you chose, this is what you were like born into. So my daughter, when I conceived my daughter and I realized that she was going to be a Scorpio, I had a long discussion with my OB, who was also kind of witchy. And she was like, well, it's the cusp. So if we want to induce early, 3 days early, she won't be a Scorpio and she'll be a Libra, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. She'll be a Libra.
No. Earlier. Yes. Sorry.
So I was like,
I love how I told the expert no. Sorry, Amanda.
So I was really considering it. From my experience with Scorpios so far in my life, I was like, I'm really considering it. And so just so you know, and I feel like this is an okay time to reveal this because you did my chart before. I'm a yoga teacher and meditation person, and I am like very, very into this spiritual journey and reincarnation and all that other kind of stuff.
I have the chills.
I did a whole ceremony on, I forget the number day, 150th day, where I meditated all day to bring my baby's soul to choose the right one to inhabit the fetus. Like it's a Kundalini tradition, like all of this stuff. Anyway, so I was really into, and I conceived her on a full moon on purpose. Wow. I looked at my husband or my baby daddy and I said, let's make a witch. And we conceived on a full moon. Her name is Luna.
Oh my God.
We are both.
Her last name is Mars,
and my baby daddy and I are both ruled by the planet Mars, and his actual last name is Mars. So, I mean, when I say I'm really into this, I'm not shitting you. I have like, so my OB, who is also a Scorpio, is like, yeah, I don't think you want a Scorpio, so we can induce early. And I really, really thought about it, and I went home and I meditated, and I was like, I shouldn't play God. I should have my child choose when she's coming. Now I ended up having to have an induction. So like I had to like have the baby within I couldn't really choose exactly because I had an induction and then an emergency C-section. And so some of this stuff I'm like, well, what happens when you quote unquote play God here? Like I could have like altered my child's birth chart drastically by having her early, and sort of in having a C-section and a scheduled labor or whatever. I also had to choose. So I'm just curious how that affects the birth chart. Have you ever thought about that? Because I have thought about it a lot, obviously.
Me too, actually, and I love this because I feel like this is very Scorpio. Wait, is your daughter a Scorpio then?
She's a Scorpio, yes.
Okay, I love Scorpio.
Oh, really? Hold on, I'll tell you what her whole thing is. Go ahead, you tell me about Scorpio.
Carrie, do you love Scorpios?
No, I don't. I don't.
I'm only laughing because I know the challenges she deals with all the time. We could get into my child after this also.
And my child is such a Scorpio. She is really such.
She really is
a Scorpio.
Yeah.
Her full chart. Scorpio moon, so really? Yeah, I love Scorpio.
Okay, so her full chart is what? Who is that? Sorry. Go ahead. Continue. I'm going to look up I have her full chart here.
Well, I just think it's funny too because I know your chart and you're a Taurus rising. So like one of like your sensitive parts in your chart is your descendant, which is the opposite of Taurus. And in your approach to relationships and the people that you attract are Scorpio. So I find it amazing that your daughter came in as a Scorpio. I'm curious to know what your husband is.
An Aries.
Aries.
He's an Aries.
We were born one day apart.
Oh, no way.
I don't know his birth time. 1 day in 10 years. I know his birthplace, but I don't know what time. And his mother didn't know what time. So I got to look at his birth certificate.
On the flip side, my son is a Cancer, and he is such a Cancer.
Yes.
So much so I don't know if you watch Summer House. Do you watch that show?
I do. I love that show.
Okay, so that new girl, I think her name is Maya, who was like, found that guy who was so hot, and she found out he was a Cancer, and she was like, no.
I was so annoyed by that. What are your thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts are, I know how sensitive Cancers are.
It is.
And
he is such...
I'm concerned. Like, I gave birth to... I truly am concerned. When he was in my stomach, when he was a newborn, I very much had a lot of conversations with everyone on both sides of the family saying, like, we're not doing this, like, men can be very toxic. We're not doing this be a man stuff. We're not doing that. Mm-hmm. He's allowed to have feelings. He's allowed to cry. And I have to tell you, I regret saying that sometimes. And sometimes I don't stick to it because it is a lot. It is a lot. And it's not that I ascribe to these old ways of gender roles and stuff. But even if he were a girl, I would be like, you got to toughen up, my friend. Like, come on. Yeah. He is the most sensitive, and I am sensitive. He is the most sensitive individual I've ever met in my life.
It's true.
And I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My two, I have twin boys and they're Cancer risings. So yeah, I get the sensitivity, and they're also like very like, it's just so crazy because you don't want to take astrology and like, project that onto like your kids or anything, or like box them in any way. I really suggest just like sitting back and kind of like observing like you're doing. And I read charts for like moms who have kids, and I'm like, you have a Taurus, like she has a Taurus moon, or your child has a Taurus moon, like you really need to have, like, she wants a routine and she does not want to be swayed from that. So it's kind of cool too when you look at it that way, like what they need, like if you look at a child's birth chart, like what they need emotionally through their moon, and like seeing their rising and like their approach to the world. And it's
I'm doing Luna. I'm hiring you to do Luna because
same. I think it would be great for both of us to go to you outside of the show and be like, please do our children so we know how to raise them a little bit better.
Totally.
Like, what an amazing gift to get somebody when they have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, truly.
Anyway.
So, all right, let's dive into where you were going to go before. Let's dive into our charts. I'm just going to give a general question right now. How can we use that best for the spring equinox? What are some untapped things we may not know based off of our charts? Let's get into it, my friend.
Yeah. So, did you guys have any specific questions in general?
I had one question. Where is it? There was one thing where you said like note in mine.
Yeah, I didn't have an affirmation in mine, I don't think, but you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had one.
I am home within myself.
Yeah.
Yes, for your moon, because your moon's in your 4th house. So
and
I
think she's really at home, at her home within herself.
This is so cool because I just like my approach to, just chatting with people about their charts as well is like, astrology, like some people may think that, it's like fortune telling. Ashley, we talked about this before, but when you have like an open conversation, because I'm so curious too, like I could see a chart and I could read it, but I love to ask questions and be like, how is this manifesting to you? Because this is like a whole other language. Like you have the planets, that's like the energy. And then we all have every sign in our chart. There's 12 signs, there's 12 houses in our charts. So the planets are like the what, and then you have the sign, which is like how that energy of that planet is being expressed. And then whatever house it's placed in shows where it's being expressed. So it's very layered.
Yes. So much so it's almost hard for me to fully grasp it because there's so many facets to it, and I feel so new to this. I would say the one thing that in my chart that when we're talking the big three, which is, you know what? Why don't you explain the big three to people?
And I just found Luna's big three. So go ahead, tell the big three, and then I'll refer back because I just found it.
Okay, so the big three, this is like the core of your birth chart. And, you know, today we're just like touching on the basics. Again, there's so many layers to this, and we're just touching on like the planets, the big three, and you can get into so many more things. So this is like an intro to your chart. But the big three are your sun, your moon, and your rising. So your sun sign is a sign that you were born under. It's the sign that like you have all of those traits within you, but you're also meant to like grow and develop in this lifetime. Like it's like your soul's purpose, like, you know, thinking about like a seed planting, like, you know, like you're just a little seed and you're meant to blossom and bloom into your sun sign. So a lot of the times, like people don't identify with their sun sign a lot of the times. Like when they're younger, they're like, I don't understand it. So you're meant to grow into that. And then your moon sign is like your inner world. It's like what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel secure, what your soul needs to like feel connected to other people, to feel connected to yourself, at home within yourself. It has a lot to do with like past and like your ancestry as well. And then you have your rising sign, which is like your energy. When you first meet somebody, you're meeting their rising sign. It's like your approach to the world. It's just, I have
that's a good way of putting it, because I didn't fully understand that. So
and I feel like I don't read as my rising sign at all.
And for me, I feel like I so read as my rising sign. What I least related to was my moon.
Really?
Yeah. But I think it's because it was just explained in a different, because Carrie thinks it's very accurate for me.
I do. Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting.
I think because it said like I'm always wanting like a thirst for
adventure.
Like adventure.
Yeah, like I'm like, do I really want adventure? But in a way I do. It's just like maybe adventure isn't the word I would have used.
Yeah, I don't think you're like going on a trek to Africa anytime soon, but I think you find adventure in like other ways.
Yes, and that's where I agree. And I am more like, I am very much a homebody, but I am also always trying to grow, always trying to be better, always trying to learn, always trying to develop. So like in that way it does very much relate to me. I also think
that research nature of yours is kind of part of the adventure, is like you're trying to find the newest best way of doing something, or like
that's true.
It's like kind of like that.
Yeah.
Let me just say Luna is a Scorpio sun, a Cancer moon.
Oh boy.
And a Virgo rising.
Oh, wow. She's a Virgo rising just like me.
And I'm also a Virgo rising.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense.
That was one thing I noticed with all of your charts too, was that how much Virgo energy there was, and so much, like that's ruled by Mercury, that's ruled by like communication. So I love that. Like I just feel like it all fits in like so perfectly.
When I read our charts, I thought, well, this is why, because Ashley and I always say that we've never worked with somebody ever as well. Like I don't work well with others in a business sense. I like to do things very independently. Yes. And so it's very hard for me to find, like, I'm the girl that's like, you don't have to do the project. I always would like pick the stoners because I knew they wouldn't want to do the project. And I'd be like, I got it. You're going to get an A. I'll check you later. I'll do all the work. And Ashley's the only person I've ever trusted and worked well with. And kind of Ashley says the same thing about me. And I think it's because of that Virgo rising in us.
Yeah.
Because we both respect hard work and dedication, and and we are control freaks. And so we haven't really met someone that we thought could deliver in the same way, but we have that kind of similar vibe in that way.
Yes. Yeah. Because you, Ashley, have the sun, Virgo sun, Virgo rising, and then Carrie has the Virgo moon. So yeah, that's like, there's so much Virgo energy there. So it makes sense that you guys
all right, Virgo together. Moon, my rising is not, mine's my Virgo moon. Got it.
Yeah, so, you have Taurus rising.
Anything like, I have a question. All right, so I recently learned about, again, thanks witchy TikTok, stelliums. And so I have a stellium, which is when you have three signs,
Yes.
3 or more signs in the same house. What I got wrong is somehow I thought my Virgo was in the 12th house. Your chart says that it's in the first house. And the stellium is like what you're supposed to work through in this.
Yeah, so when you have a stellium, that just means that there's so much energy focused in that particular sign and in that house.
So mine's Virgo in the first house, correct?
Yes. So, like in this lifetime, like that's like a ton of Aries energy. It's like, taking like the action that you need and not standing on the sidelines, it's like honoring yourself.
I identify with that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, just like honoring yourself and like taking that action, not staying on the sidelines and, taking the lead. It's like very much like cardinal energy, just like going and, it's like such independent energy. So yeah, that's where like a lot of your energy is focused in this lifetime.
Also, the other thing in your chart that was so interesting, Ashley, and I'm going to butcher it because I obviously paid more attention to my chart than I did to Ashley.
I didn't even read your
Ashley.
Chart, so no offense.
Is the thing about like there was something about the thing that holds you back from that is sometimes like your family and there's something about like in your chart.
Where was that? I didn't see that.
Hold on, I'll pull it up.
Was that the fourth house?
Yeah, we can continue talking so that I don't like just lose all energy here, but let me look it up. I'll tell you in a second, Ashley.
Oh, Nader? Sagittarius 4th house?
You're Nadir. Yeah.
Nadir.
Yes. So it's interesting too because that is also like your inner worlds. So besides your big 3, you have your sun, moon, and rising. There's also like another layer to that is there's 4 angles in your chart that are super sensitive. It's your first house, your 4th house, your 7th house, and your 10th house, which I don't know, just to not get too technical, the 4th and 10th can move a little bit. Mm-hmm. But yes, your nadir is a sensitive angle in your chart and it gets activated when there's transits there. But that's like your inner, like your inner world. It's basically, it's like your moon. It's like your past, what's interesting to me too is that like having a Sagittarius energy, which is like super fiery and like wanting to like be free to roam and be free to like, it's all about like learning and writing and publishing and spiritual, like connecting to spirit and connecting to something bigger gives you like meaning in your life. But it's like very free spirited energy where you don't want to feel like constricted in any way. But then also with it being in your 4th moon, like you're with your moon in your 4th house and like your nadir in your 4th house, it is very much homebody vibe. So it seems like very like conflicting energy in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I would say, I think that's part of what I didn't identify with the Sagittarius aspect is the term free-spirited, because I don't generally think of myself as a free-spirited individual, but when I hear the explanation, the way you said it, then I'm like, oh yeah, that is it.
And then I also thought to myself, like, what if you were not so close to your family, like your mom? Maybe you would have been more free-spirited.
Maybe.
Like, that's what I'm saying, like that connection. There was something about like your connection to family and like whatever. Maybe part of your like homebodiness is that connection to your family. And if you didn't have that deep connection, like say with your parents or whatever, you would have like gone to LA and done earlier and done more things. And like maybe that adventurous spirit, you were so connected to family that you felt like you needed to keep that adventurous spirit at home.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. That's interesting.
Because I have a 4th house moon as well, and I'm always talking to my family. Like I direct so much energy to my family. I'm so nostalgic. I'm so sentimental. Like I love going home. When I go home to like somewhere I've lived, like Hoboken or back to my parents' house, like I'm like I've arrived. I feel safe. I'm just like, yes, this is it.
Yep. It's just like the most. I think safe is the right word. It's the safest feeling. It's, like, for example, when I go to my parents moved, I don't know, a year or 2 years ago, upstate. And this is not a house I've lived in. This is my parents' house. And yet when I go there, I feel so safe and so relaxed and so calm, even though this is technically a new-ish place.
Home is where your parents are.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So physically being around like family, I have that same exact moon, so I totally get it. Yeah. And that's what was interesting for me too, because like with your Sagittarius moon, being free to roam, but as they say, always finding your way home. So like finding that physical home, finding that you need to feel like rooted and like a sense of belonging and that familiarity, but then also physically being around like your family too. So yeah,
tell us more about things you found in Ashley's chart. I'm curious.
Hey, let's
tell me more.
How I can use them to my advantage.
Yes, totally. Yeah. So one thing too is that like with astrology, I feel like it's stuff you already intuitively know about yourself as well, but then just seeing it kind of validates everything. But yes, so Ashley's big three are you have a Virgo sun, your moon is in Sagittarius, and then you have a Virgo rising as well. So much Virgo energy. You have your Mercury in Virgo too. You have your Mars in Virgo too. So like, yeah, embodying that Virgo energy for real. So like
that
Virgo
feels very accurate, I would say, Carrie.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
you are most comfortable when you're leaning into that.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, thank you for that too. So
you're welcome.
Thank you for that, because that's one thing I wanted to point out too. So like when you feel like lit up in life and you're just like bursting out, like you want to like get out of bed every day and you're just like in flow and you're just like happy, is when your sun, moon, and rising are in sync and when they are aligned.
Is that an astrological, them being in sync and aligned, is that, are we talking like in the actual stars or like in my headspace?
In your headspace.
Okay.
So yeah, that's when like when you're, living like that sun, that Virgo sun. So like, being in service to others, maybe like, having order around you,
yes.
being useful in a lot of ways, problem solving, like you appreciate all the details, you're just so thoughtful, like when you're living in your sun, but also that's like your Virgo rising, so it's like a lot of energy. So like, just you're very intuitive and like just kind of like picking up on all the details around you. But I feel like the main piece with that too is like Virgo is like just so thoughtful and just like being in service and like helping other people, and just doing little things. That's like part of who you are.
Ashley, I knew it when you offered me a glass of water and I thought you were trying to be shady and one up me and try to. When Ashley and I first met, it was at an audition. And I had my bitch face on. And she was like, do you want to get some water? Do you want me to get you some water?
I was getting water for myself. And there were only like 3 people. And I said, like, does anyone else want some water?
And I was like, what is the hook? What's she trying to do? Is she trying to be nice so that she breaks me down? Ew, no, I have my water. Thank you.
My best friend, Zach, says that when he met me, he was like, this bitch is not for real. Like she's putting on airs. This is not who she really is. And he was like, and as I got to know you, I was like, no, that she is just who she is.
Yes.
And you just are that person. And I was scared to love you because I was like, no, this is too good to be true. Although I don't see it that way. This is just what he said.
That's
so and in the chart, it says something like that. Like you are authentically who you are.
Yes.
And I'm not very good at hiding those things. So I've just felt very seen by this birth chart, like very, very much so. So thank you.
I love that so much. Yeah. And like also just speaking to like your sun and rising in Virgo too, like it's all about the mind, body, spirit. And like, Virgos are just so humble. They're always willing to like, look at maybe like a flaw that they have. They're so critical too of themselves mostly.
Yes.
Like, and taking that and being like, okay, I'm going to improve on that, so it is about like self-improvement in this lifetime and self-development in this lifetime too. So when those things are in flow, with your Sagittarius moon, like feeling like you're like, maybe like you can like go out and like be free to roam, but then like find that root, find that home. So when those are in flow, that's when you'll feel more in flow and like your energy won't be off, or like you won't, be like, what am I, maybe comparing yourself to, what we do, like compare ourselves to others. You're just like happy with where you are. So when those 3 are in sync, that's when you'll feel really good. And like it's also like mind, body, spirit that we talked about, like maybe like taking care of your physical body too, like through nutrition or just like journaling or writing.
Athletic greens, Ashley, athletic greens.
Athletic greens. Don't drink a whole bottle of wine at night.
Yeah.
Is there anything, before we move on to Carrie's chart, is there anything in my birth chart that I can use to really like make the most of the spring equinox?
Yeah, so let me pull up your chart really quickly. I want to see what house it's in because that in again, like you already intuitively know this, like where you may be focusing this energy for the spring equinox. So, wow. So yeah, Aries is in
wow. Oh, wow.
That's always a great sign.
well, you have Aries in your eighth house. Eighth house is kind of like a more hidden house. So I don't know, like if you feel like more into like maybe connecting with others more intimately too, maybe your partner, and connecting to yourself more intimately too.
Well, you're going on those vacations to kind of connect with your partner.
Yep, we're gonna be
Yes,
right before the spring equinox. We're going on a trip, just the two of us. So
that's amazing. And
that'll
that's
be
Aries
really
energy
nice.
too. That's new adventure, spontaneity, so there you go.
And honestly, like in therapy, I've been focusing a lot on our relationship and just like little things in our relationship, which is that's not usually what I'm focused on in therapy. So that's really interesting. Okay.
Well, that's actually interesting. Thank you for sharing that because Aries or your eighth house is all about how you're talking about those things in therapy. Aries eighth house, the eighth house is about like healing, and it's about like usually when there's transits through that house, you just end up
Ooh,
going
I got
to therapy.
chills, that one.
Yeah.
Ooh, woo.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I had a huge eighth house transit back in 2021, and that's when I started my therapy. So,
am I in a huge transit, or this is just a general transit?
this is just right now. Actually, Jupiter and Venus are conjunct in Aries eighth house, so it's like even more, like
Potent.
romance and like intimacy and all that stuff.
Oh, that's great. That aligns really nicely. All right, cool.
Good.
Thank you, Carrie. What questions do you have about your birth chart, my friend?
I mean, well,
let's go over Carrie's big three.
Yes.
Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So Carrie's big three are you have a Aries sun.
Mm-hmm.
So we're coming into Aries season. So I have a question for you too about that afterwards because I'm the queen of questions. Okay. So
love it. Love to answer questions about myself. It's my favorite topic.
You have a Virgo moon, which I love so much. It's like very grounded, earthy energy. And then also Taurus rising. So it's like
I'm very stubborn.
Double Earth. And that's the thing too. That's what they say, the shadow part of like a Taurus. But I think with that, like being more like resistant to change and like knowing that you have a rhythm that kind of works and just like this is the way that it works and why should we even like change it. True. I feel like that's how it can like kind of manifest in a lot of ways. Yes. But yeah, so we're coming into your Aries season, so feeling all like rebirth and like new energy and just like feeling yourself. I feel like
I feel myself a lot of the time.
Carrie's almost always feeling herself.
I'm always feeling myself.
I feel like birthday season, she's really feeling herself.
Very extra.
Yes.
I love that. So yeah, like Aries kicks off like it's the start of the spring equinox and it kicks off a 12-month cycle. So yeah, and around your birthday, I'm sure Ashley, you could feel that too, but like you always feel just like it's this when the sun is in that sign, it's like expressive and like just like lit up in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like around my birth, and I guess this makes absolute perfect sense. And I never put two and two together. And I'm saying this about me, but I mean it generally. Around my birthday, I feel my most self.
Yes.
My most optimistic, positive, just like good self. Does everyone feel that way?
I wouldn't say I noticed that. I'm always very noticing of the weather around my birthday for whatever reason. It's always very tumultuous. The weather is either snowing or raining.
Well,
and it's always been really, really.
It's March, baby.
I know, but it's always like ruined a birthday party. It's always like I planned the birthday party and it's like the biggest flood of the season or a snow that came out of nowhere. And so I feel like I'm always focused on that instead of like
letting
how
yourself
I feel.
Shine.
Yeah. The other thing is the thing that really interests me about charts, and I don't know if everybody feels this way. I think that Ashley would agree that I feel this way. Well, let's put it this way. I feel this way a lot. And I always try to tell people that this is my other side and they don't really see it. I'm really into the shadow self, or the parts that you feel but aren't, and present a different way, because I'm a person that's, I mean, I just talked about this in therapy, my last 2 to 3 weeks of therapy. I've always presented one way and then felt another way. And I always have like a keen.
Say that statement again. You've always what?
Presented one way and kind of felt internally another way.
Can you give an example so I can
Well, when I say
sometimes things are hard to wrap your brain around.
Yeah, when I said I'm really like an introvert, and you're like, no, you're not.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm like extremely introverted, but I've always presented extremely extroverted, and it's kind of a calculated thing that I've done, and it's like a weird thing. I always have a sense, like my therapist is like, wow, you have like 4 extra steps to everything, because I'll be like, this is what I'm going to say. Oh, wow, the reaction wasn't quite as I expected. This is how a normal person would have said that. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I'm not normal anyway. Oh, should I? Like, there's always like 4 or 5 steps of me being conscious that the way that I feel and the way that I express things are different than maybe how I'm presenting or how a normal person would say them.
Well, that's so interesting that you say that, because
it takes up a lot of energy.
I love that, because that was gonna be one of my questions for you too, was like Aries season for you, like how do you feel around that time? Do you feel more introverted? Do you feel like going more inward? And the reason why I ask is because you have your sun in your 12th house, and that's like an inward house. And like my 2 boys have that too, and a few friends' kids have that too. But it's like you nailed it. Like, and again, this is how you just like intuitively know, but like your Aries sun, is, forward facing, like it's just like this, fire type of energy. But being in a water house, it's like and with your sun in that 12th house too, like feeling 2 different ways, like not being, the way you present yourself to the world, like you said, how you feel inside is like completely different, because that sun in that 12th house is so inward. It's about, connecting to yourself, like having time to yourself, like that introverted type of energy, connecting to spirit, like, and with your Kundalini practices as part of your identity. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I like silent meditation. I've done a lot of like super long, like month-long silent meditations, and
that sounds like the fucking worst thing
this
ever.
Is
I'm
crazy.
so sorry
it's
to
like
say
best
that.
and worst, but I'm also the most talkative person you've ever met. So it's like I'm like these dichotomies.
I feel like you're dying inside if you do that.
No, I needed it. No, I really needed it. I mean,
yeah.
I just like Ashley knows my love language is leave me alone, freedom, and I'm not right if I don't spend quite a lot of time by myself.
Yes.
And it's been really challenging as a parent. And as someone who lived alone until I met my partner, and we didn't actually move in together until I was 38 weeks pregnant. That's how much I love my alone time. And my ideal living situation is that we live in 2 homes that have an adjoining hallway. That's my love language. Like, I can't express to you how wrong life is when I don't have large amounts of private time.
And I'm needy and codependent with my husband, so...
But like all the stuff, like all that kind of stuff about needing independence and needing quiet and alone and all that spiritual stuff. Because I was a spiritual kid from the get-go, and my parents were always kind of like creeped out by it. I have intuitions that come true. I'm a little bit psychic. Like I have all this like, and I just
Can you see that in a birth chart? I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay. So so that was Carrie has a stellium in her 12th house, and 12. You have your Mercury there. Yes, you sure do. So yeah, like again, it feels like very much conflicting energy, because you would expect that like you have that outward facing, but it's also super super inward. And then part of your identity is connecting to that spirituality and like needing that alone time so bad. And with your Mercury there too in that 12th house, being super intuitive, do you have vivid dreams? Like,
oh my God, they come true. Ashley knows.
Yeah.
I've had 3. I have such vivid dreams. I can recall every single detail about them. I often, when I dream about someone random, I'll call them the next day and something huge is going on in their life. And I also have premonitions both in my sleep and when I meditate. And a couple of them have saved my life. Actually saved my life. Ashley knows some of these stories. Yeah.
That's insane. And so when you said that you went on like how long of a silent meditation?
Month-long silent meditation in India where I slept in caves on the floor.
Oh my God. All of that sounds so terrible. I don't mean that judgmentally. I just mean
terrible. It was terrible and great at the same time.
Also, look at your nails. I'm sorry. What?
Yes. I'm like,
okay. They're done. I thought they were chipping. And
No,
I was like, who the fuck are you?
A black and white motif sticker.
I'm sorry, Amanda. She has a real pet peeve about chipped nails.
It's where my Virgo.
Like they were chipped.
My Virgo.
Oh my gosh, mine is chipped right now, and I'm getting them done right after this.
We went to go see.
Hiding them.
We went to go see Drew Barrymore live, and she is my all. And I was like, oh my God, those nails! I don't know what to do. She had chipped nails on camera. I'm like, I just want to fix them for her. And Ashley, as we leave, Ashley goes, "Did you see her nails?" I was like, I know I did. I have OCD. I have a little bit of OCD that I've covered up throughout the years, and I feel like that's where my Virgo comes in because I am really particular, but only about like 8 things, and those 8 things I'm particular about, I will murder.
Is hygiene one of them? I'm so curious, and like cleanliness.
Oh, sorry to go back to mine real quick. That was in mine about hygiene, and I was like, "Yup!" Like one of my biggest fears in life is being the stinky person. Truly, like I am, and I always chalked it up to culturally being Hispanic and like wanting to smell good and stuff. But it makes sense to like being the stinky, smelly person is disgusting to me.
I have these things. My fingernails and my toenails have to be impeccably groomed.
Me too.
And if they're not, my mental state is not good. I have a thing about stains and the way clothing is kept and how people present that way. I mean, I wear sweatshirts, but they don't have a stain on them. Like I'm really like, that's not fancy clothes, but just like that, And then I'm like an obsessive teeth brusher. I brush my teeth like 3 to 4 times a day.
That I am not.
And so cleanliness in certain aspects. Yeah. But like I'm a dichotomy. So then like I can live in a floor of a cave in India and only shower like once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But my nails were on fleek that entire time. They weren't painted, but they were groomed and like neat. And so I just have these, I have things that I'm a little bit OCD about.
Have our things.
And I have specialized systems and methods that make no sense to anybody else, but I can't, that's the way I do things.
Yeah. So like I feel like this is like your Virgo moon speaking so loudly. It's like needing order, and Virgo moon energy, like the inner world may feel like a little bit restless too at times. So like needing to like maybe just like not being able to sit still at all and just like constantly like moving or like cleaning.
I chalk that up to ADHD. I rearrange my house. My mom has said this. I used to rearrange my room like once a week, and my mom's the exact opposite. She'll have things in the same place that she's had them for 100 years. And I'm like, ugh. It doesn't even cost any money. Just change it up. Have your bed face a new direction. Mom, live a little.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like that's definitely like your Virgo moon in you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also fascinating.
I think the thing that always confuses me sometimes about like my chart is that I have, so it's so funny because today when I was driving my daughter to school, and again, I'm sorry this is getting so hippy dippy, but today when I was driving my daughter.
That's the point of this.
I love it.
Today when I was driving my daughter to school, Ashley and I have like things that we talk about before the episode and like things we're working on and whatever. And I thought to myself, I think that I had like a 2023 mantra, and that was treat your goddess body like the goddess that she is. That was my mantra. Cheesy, but it's working.
That's the seed you planted at the beginning of 2023.
And that I chose the word goddess because sometimes goddesses like to drink an entire bottle of wine, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes they want to exercise. It's just like, respect what the body needs. Anyway, I had this thought that was that I think for 1 month, I want to try to only think about myself, because Ashley will tell you that I tend to enjoy and go out of my way to help others in like really big ways, like stupidly big ways. And in my chart, it said that I have that mama bear energy, and that like I like to do like good works and of service. And that's like part of my spiritual stuff. And I just thought to myself, it was actually in relation to my baby daddy, because my baby daddy, we're the same sign, but he tends to optimize for himself first and then others later. And that's a big issue with us. And I thought, he makes a lot of money sometimes. He gets a lot done. So what if I tried for 1 month to not give my energy in helping others and just try for myself? And I was contemplating, and I was thinking, would that raise my vibration or lower it? Because I really enjoy giving to others. And in my chart, it said that being creative and being around children and having spirituality, and that's all stuff that is 100% true.
She literally just finished directing a 6th grade play. So it's like nothing is more creative and surrounded about children than that.
And I used to be a nanny, and like I've always, anyway, I just thought, I think 1 month is safe, because if it doesn't raise my vibration, it's only 1 month. But I was like really curious if that would go against and make me like depressed and not in my lane and not like listening to or would it actually help? Anyway, that was my thought. And then I read the chart and I was like, oh, the chart is saying that maybe that would not be a great experiment. But I was just thinking, like, some of these things are so innate in you. Like, what if you did the opposite on purpose?
Right.
What would happen? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's interesting too, because with Aries, season coming up and it being in your 12th house is Pisces, and it's all about like compassionate and like giving yourself to others in so many ways, like helping others. But also that energy is also about creating boundaries and not giving away too much of your energy, and like taking some of that energy back. Right. So I feel like if there's any time to experiment with that, it would definitely be during your birthday season for sure.
Yeah. I just had that thought. I was like, what if that energy was not used on someone else? What if it was used on myself? Then
yes, I know.
Would I be limitless? Just kidding.
That was actually one of my mantras going into the new year too. I was like, I need to like be okay with like taking that bath on Sunday night for self-care Sunday, yes. And not just saying, okay, no, I need to do all these other things. Like just saying yes to myself is like such a huge theme for me this year too.
2 other little things I want to say, if that's okay, Ashley.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is, and this is,
that was so weird and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes. In therapy, when I'm talking about my issues with my partner, sometimes my therapist will say, well, what was the original thing that you fell in love with him about? And in this Mars,
that ass,
how you get after what you want. And it says you're attracted to someone who is committed to family values in the home. And that had been a big issue with my partners, how close I am to my family and how I will always prioritize them first above anybody else. And when I met my partner, he prioritized his family, talked to his sister every single day, would fly back and forth to help his family. And that was like the thing that really attracted me to him, because he understood that I would do the same. And that was like hit the money, because yeah, it was something in therapy that my therapist talks about all the time. And it was like in my chart. The other thing is, so I did a natal chart reading. No, is it called natal? The Indian version? Vedic. Thank you. I did a Vedic chart reading that was so incredibly mind-blowing. I did it 2 days before I met my now baby daddy partner. And in it, he had said that I was moving. I had been like for like 40 years, because the way that Vedic charts work, it's like the idea of reincarnation. So if it's been going on for 40 years and you're not 40 yet, it was the end of your previous incarnation. So they were like, you have been in a career incarnation and you're just now moving this year. It was 2014. You're moving into your relationship quadrant, because it's in like squares. And you are Mars, and you need to think and manifest Mars for your relationship. I'm with a man whose last name is Mars.
That's crazy.
And
And I met him on OkCupid where his last name was not on there. And I went on a date with him 2 days after this reading. And when he told me, I have it recorded because he didn't believe me. And then when we were finally together, I did the recording and it was like, you just need a lot more Mars. Like you need to manifest more Mars in your life. Really. And his last name is Mars. And he's an Aries.
Last reading with Joe Peretta. So we have a medium that we work with a lot.
Our medium.
We'd like to have our witchy people around all the time because we're a little witchy. And he said, remember that last reading not the last one, the second to last reading Joe Peretta did. He said that the year we were going into, I think at that point it was 2022, was going to be a lot more focused on family for you than anything else. So it's like you keep getting this message repeatedly.
But I just thought it was so fascinating. And it's like, that chart, he was like, one thing he said, the Vedic astrologer, he goes, I very rarely in Vedic astrology see a person's sign being the same as they are in Western astrology. And you are, and that's rare. You are an Aries in Vedic and you are an Aries in Western astrology. And he said, and this was something he also said he hardly ever sees. In the chart, again, I'm butchering this, but in the chart, they say that you can see how many more manifestations you're going to have left, like before you reach samastiti or like bliss, samadhi bliss, not samastiti, samadhi bliss. And he's like, this is your last incarnation. He's like, I never see that in a chart.
No way, I have the chills.
He's like, you have committed yourself in this lifetime of spirit. He didn't know what I did for a living. He's like, you committed yourself to spirituality in a really deep way in this incarnation. And this is your last incarnation. He's like, I almost never see that in a chart.
I
was like,
kind of crazy. You're going to be like that master blue light ascend master.
It was the most dangerous thing to tell a full-on Aries. I was like, that's right. My work is done. I'm amazing.
Mic drop.
Exactly.
Amanda, before we kind of like wrap this up, anything else besides plugging yourself? We'll get to that.
Do you have any questions for us? Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, anything else you want to bring up or was interesting or points you want to make or anything like that?
You guys, I just can't tell you how much fun this was, and just like the fact that you're so into it, and like I just like it just lights me up too, and this has just been so much fun. And so thank you so much. But yeah, I don't really have any other questions. I feel so grateful that this like resonated with you guys. I feel like I could talk, like we could have a 2-hour podcast because we're only scratching the surface with your charts.
When you meet someone, do you just like do you in your head, you're like, what are you, to figure out if you're ever going to talk to them or not? Like, how would that be to be in the world with all this knowledge?
So crazy. I wish I could turn it off sometimes. It kind of annoys me. Actually, now I feel like I get curious about people. When I first started, I was like trying to figure out everybody, and I feel like that's my Scorpio moon. But what I do is when I read books, I astrologically like profile the characters. I'm like, oh, this person's like definitely an Aries.
That's a podcast. You should start that podcast.
That is a podcast.
Totally.
We'll produce it for you.
It's just, and it doesn't have to be just books, like anything you see, just projecting what people, like taking guesses on what people's signs are. Like this week we're going to talk about, this book, and next week we're going to talk about
O'Hara.
The Housewives of Beverly Hills,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like there's this guy that we live right next to. I'm in Nashville now, and we live by this park, and there's this dad that goes, and he's so intense, and I'm like, he has a strong Pluto, and he probably has a lot of Scorpio in there. I'm like, I just know it. And it's crazy too, like just even with like some friends, if we're going through similar things in life, and I don't know I know all my friends' charts, I know my whole family's chart.
Of course you do. I would too.
Yeah, and I'm like, are you a Leo rising? I'm like, because we're going through the same things, and come to find out that friend is a Leo rising, because it's just like when you take in, we're just scratching the surface here. You could take into account like all these aspects, all the little lines, how the planets talk to each other in the birth chart too. There's solar return charts. There's transit chart. We're just scratching the surface, so it can get a little overwhelming.
Amanda, we have a core group of yes, that we have come back. And while we've been talking to you, I've been wondering, like, how do we bring her back now that we've done our birth charts? How do we bring her back? But if there's anything ever going on where you're like, hey, this would be a fun way to like bring back your birth charts, will you let us know? Because we would love to have you back on the show.
Totally. I would love that so much.
We'd love to have you be our girl, you know?
I would love that. You guys are so much fun. I feel like I could talk to you forever.
Same.
I need to tell you what my child is, and you need to tell me if I should get her rehomed to a different home. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so
you should rehome your child.
Her rising sign is 2 degrees Virgo.
Okay.
Her sun is 6 degrees Scorpio. Her moon is 17 degrees Cancer.
Okay.
Her Mercury is 28 degrees Scorpio. Her Venus is 0 degrees Scorpio. Her Mars is 20 degrees Aries. Jupiter, 27 degrees Scorpio. She's got a million Scorpios in here.
Yeah.
Saturn is Capricorn.
Oh my God, now I'm doing Sebastian's because I need to.
Her node is 0 degrees Leo.
Okay. Well, that's another thing too. Like, speaking of Vedic astrology too, like we can get into past lives with all this stuff too, and where you're headed in this lifetime. But I would love to see her chart because I'm trying to visualize everything and see. I have to see it in like the actual chart with the houses and stuff. But I'm so curious. Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is Placidus system too. So I like to do whole sign because I feel like it's a little bit more accurate.
I'm gonna hire you to do my daughter's. But
send it to me.
I say all the time, she scares me, and my mom's like, "Don't say that." I'm like, "No, she really does." And she scares Ashley too.
Yeah. I'm always like, God bless. I wouldn't know what to do with your daughter. Like, she's a lovely little girl, and I love her. Like, she is very I'm close to her and everything, but to be her mother, I couldn't. It would kill me. And it would literally kill me.
Intense, because I feel like that's like where the Scorpio comes in.
Very intense.
Like very intense, passionate.
Yes, she is like a telenovela, 24/7, and
she gets very angry. Sebastian is a sun in Cancer, moon in Pisces, ascendant in Gemini.
Okay.
I don't know if that is
sun in Pisces. Well, that's interesting too, because your 7th house, one of your sensitive, powerful angles in your chart is Pisces. And I'm curious, that's where, it's your approach to like relationships, but also what you may attract to help your soul, like kind of like spiritually evolve. And yours is in Pisces and yours is in Scorpio. So I feel like they're here to kind of like teach you and help your soul grow.
I did hear something somewhere that your moon sign is your mother's, somehow related to your mother's sign. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, like nothing makes you grow more than having a kid.
Oh, totally.
Also, my kid has also thinks she's being reincarnated, and she guesses things and walks by cemeteries not knowing what it is and goes, "That's a ghost playground."
Interesting. I feel like that's so her Scorpio, but I'd want to see, does she have a lot of 12th house placements too? I mean, you're so spiritually connected, so it would totally make sense that
one time, Ashley, I have this recorded, goes, "I'm crying like I cried when I died 200 years ago, and then when I died 100 years ago."
How old is she?
She's 4. She said
that.
She said that when she was 2.5 years old.
There's something there, I feel like. That's like crazy. 4-year-olds don't say that type of stuff. There's something karmic and something.
We'll talk separately about my witch child. I did say, let's make a witch, and then had sex with my husband.
You did it.
On a triple moon.
Did it.
On a triple moon.
And you got your Mars. I can't.
I mean,
you
and
did
she's
it,
born
you
on a full moon.
I know. It's all your fault.
You manifested that. You have Jupiter in your 2nd house, and that's like major manifestation. Like you have you're magnetic, and that's what you attracted.
It's electric. Boogie woogie woogie.
Can you magnetically attract
money
Momtourage
and
making more money?
Yes, I'm gonna try.
I would love that if you could do that.
Okay,
thank you so much.
So please plug yourself, plug all the things, let everyone know. Also, your hair is on fleek. I'm loving it, all of it.
I think she's so gorgeous.
I know.
This woman.
Oh my God, you guys. Thank you so much. So are you guys.
Thank you. I mean,
beautiful souls here. Hello. I feel like I could talk to you guys. This has been so much fun.
We'll have you back. We'll do this more. And we're going to have you do our kids.
Okay, thank you.
Not do our kids, but do a reading for our kids.
Do your kids. I'll do your kids.
Great. Yeah, no problem.
I totally get it. But yeah, my name's Amanda Mayr. That's M as in Mary, A-Y-R. And you can find me on Instagram at amanda.mayr, M-A-Y-R. And there, I talk about some astrology stuff. And I also, you could book your astrology readings there too. Right now I'm doing birth chart readings, a digital version, but also I just came out with a new little book. So it's really cute. It's pretty, so it's a little keepsake book. So there's that on there too.
So but yeah, I think each person's birth chart is it's in that hardcover book?
Yeah. So I have a digital version, which I can email to you. And it looks a little bit different than the birth chart book. Nice. The birth chart book is a little edgier. It's like a keepsake book. It can be like customized if you want it to have like different colors, because I know everybody loves neutral. I'm a very sunshiny. That's my Leo rising right here.
Yep.
So all the colors.
Ooh, I love your verticals. I love these verticals.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yes. But yeah, there's a link in my bio there that you can, if you're interested in a birth chart reading, an intro to your birth chart, you can just follow that link and book it there. I offer a limited amount per month because I do write these on my own, and it does take quite some time, and my Virgo perfectionist tendencies takes even longer because I overthink everything. So yeah, and I want it to be perfect for everybody else. So that's my Virgo.
Yes.
Amanda, you are the best. Everyone go check it out. If you want to just tap into a little more understanding about yourself, this is a great way to do it.
And what a great gift, guys. I just keep thinking this is such a good gift for someone. I
love your idea of a baby gift.
Yes.
I think it's a great baby gift.
I love
You don't want to do something off of the shower registry. This is like a great. Yeah. I guess you can't do it because they're not born yet.
Amanda,
right?
I have an idea for you, and you can run with it because I don't have the time or the energy. I'm running with too many things. A guide to raising your kid based on their sun sign, because I'm always like, can someone give me a book about raising a Scorpio? That's what I need to know. I need that book, a kid's book about raising that sign. Anyway,
take it and run with it.
Take it and go.
Thanks. No, I need all these ideas. Again, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface here. So there's so much more to come. Solar returns, like all the things. So yeah, we're gonna do this, and
we'll have you back.
Can't wait so much.
Thank you. Welcome to the 2023 Momtourage Oscars.
Beep, 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 beep.
Today's host is nobody you've ever heard of, Ashley and Carrie. Here from the Montclair Staples Center. By Staples, I mean I got a drawer full of them.
And now, the Momtourage Oscars! Okay. All right, our first category.
The production value on this show, let me tell you.
Absolutely horrible.
Our first category, Ashley, go ahead.
Best asshole kid in a film or TV show. Carrie, who's your choice?
I'm going to go with my favorite asshole kid, which is Gertie from E.T. She's not so much as an asshole as she is a precocious child played by the effervescent Drew Barrymore.
She's not an asshole kid in that movie.
Alligators in the sewers. Alligators in the sewers. She's sassy. How about you?
I'm going to go with Jonathan Lipnicki and Jerry Maguire. Did you know the human head weighs 8 pounds?
You know dogs and bees can smell fear.
I hated him in that movie so much. I don't think
you
can dislike a child as much as I do.
Those are the only 2 nominees, and the winner goes to Jonathan Lipnicki! He's not here to accept this award right now. Who knows where he is, frankly.
His head weighed too much. He could never stand up again. He's like the Elephant Man.
And our next category, Best Bad Mom in a Film or TV Show.
Can we nominate ourselves?
We're not on TV.
I am in my head.
Do you want to nominate yourself?
Fuck. Wait, hold on. I gotta think. Best Bad Mom. I mean, do we just go Mommy Dearest?
Oh, yes. And the winner unanimously is Joan Crawford
in Mommy Dearest.
Joan Crawford can't
wire hangers.
Joan Crawford can't accept her award because she's 6 feet underground.
Best deadbeat dad in a film or TV show. I know who I'm nominating for this one.
Let me just say, all of them. No, who are you nominating?
I'm nominating Ross Geller from Friends.
Oh God, he's the
because honestly, how could we never see that child? How could that child is so rarely in his life?
How bad a dad are you, Ross Geller? I'm gonna go. My nomination will be my own father.
Again, not in a film or TV show, Carrie.
He was on hard copy.
Oh, true. Okay. Oh my God, people are gonna Google that now. Oh my God.
And the winner is my dad.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
But is he? Guys,
the question is, are you?
Guys, we'll unpack that one later. But if you want to know why I am, you can Google it. It's Googleable. All right. Best scene that a tired mom can fantasize about when she wants to leave her own body.
For me, it's any sex scene in You.
Oh, see, he's too skinny for me.
I don't care. He's
just got that little tuft of hair right at the top.
I tried to explain to Matt this weekend because he says it's unfair that I get to talk about how the men that I find attractive and that he doesn't really do that. And I said, every man I find attractive reminds me of you. Your people are like fucking Olivia Munn and Scarlett Johansson. There's no resemblance.
And that chick from Love Island with the underboob. Lest we forget Francesca.
She's back on TV. We have to talk about that. That's a whole other thing. And
that almost caused you guys a divorce. That almost caused you guys a divorce.
Because she's a sex robot. And let me tell you, she's back on TV and the bottom of her tits are still out all the time.
And he's also a sex. Your husband wants a sex robot, Ashley.
I'm just shaking my head. Matt loves a sex robot, everybody.
That's going to be the
Matt,
title
do you
of this.
Defend yourself?
That's going to be the title of this episode. Matt loves the sex.
We're talking about how you love sex robots on this show. Sex robots like Francesca and Olivia Munn and Scarlett Johansson. He says they have beautiful hearts, everybody.
Underneath those big old titties.
Under those big old bottom-hanging titties, they have beautiful hearts.
That's why they're so big. Their hearts are so big.
And wide-set vaginas.
Wide set like eyes. Ew. Okay.
Anyway, what's your scene a tired mom can fantasize about?
I'm going to go weird, guys. I'm going to go weird.
Uh-oh.
The weird poisoning sex scene from Phantom Thread.
I've never seen it. But you have a thing for Daniel Day-Lewis, right?
Too. I want him to make me some shoes. I want him to cobble me some shoes.
God. Do you think when he has sex with his wife while he's going full method and like doesn't break character, he has sex as those characters? And if so, I think during Gangs of New York, was he like just beating the shit out of his wife?
He was like, oh, yeah. Like that.
Oh.
I hope you use that clip.
We'll see if Zencaster chooses it for our active speaker. I'm
all active, baby. Okay. Best. Oh, no, this is your category.
And the winner is. I think the winner's Penn Badgley and You.
Penn Badgley, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. It's timely.
You know what? A side note. I hate that they feel like they need, the writers of that show need, every time the word you is said, they have to really enunciate it.
Yeah, I know. I do too.
It's like, I get it. The show's named you. I get it. Nobody says it like that.
Here's the other thing. So Penn Badgley, I love those like voiceovers with the when he talks like this. Like that, it does it for me, right? Mm-hmm. So they're one of the
Did
like
he do a Dipsy? Yes.
No, he did. He was rumored to have done a Try Quinn. Quinn is another version of Dipsy. I signed up for, and it was as a professor, I signed up for the free trial, and I was like, oh my God, is this actually him? And I have to tell you, I was there, guys.
Good.
I Googled it. I found the name he did it under. I don't know if it was actually him. I don't think it was.
Daniel Day-Lewis, do the right thing. Do a sex speaking, and I'm there.
It's like my grandfather.
I just hate how they're like, you. I get it. The show's named You. Okay, I get it. Maybe that was okay season 1. There's been a lot of other seasons. We get it. We're not dumb. Stop hitting us over with a hammer, okay? Okay. Best revenge bod in a film or television show. And the nominees are...
You obviously had something in mind when you made this.
No, I was just trying to think of things that we'd like to talk about that would be...
When I think of best revenge bod, I think of the ultimate revenge bod, so much so there was a show called it, and that's Khloe Kardashian.
I know.
I don't want to nominate her for anything.
No.
But her revenge body was brought to you by Ozempic, and great.
It was.
Listen, is this just like any body we'd like to have?
I'm going to go with Jane Fonda for the win.
Jane Fonda's good. I also like...
I don't know who she was revenging, but I'm into it.
I'm going to nominate 2 others. One is Blake Lively in fucking anything.
Anything. Maybe also brought to you by Ozempic. Who knows?
No, she's always had that body.
Yeah.
And she literally just had her 4th child. Her body's destroyed.
I know.
Like, and when I say destroyed, I mean specifically her vagina.
Her body looks good because I saw that post right after.
And also, the other great one, Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies.
Jamie Lee Curtis in anything. Her body be banging.
Even now, her body's like really good.
I guess we should start eating that yogurt.
It's like all titties and hips.
But you know why?
Activia? Why? I don't.
She's shitting regular, so that's it. She was born with both male and female.
That has nothing to do with her body. With her,
yes, it does.
Like, to do with the shape of her body?
Because she's slender like a man, but curvy like a girl.
Do you actually know that this is what's affecting it, or are you just saying this?
I'm saying that in her dad's biography, they talk about how they had to make a decision,
right?
Which way to, like, back in olden times, there was no intersex, so they like switched up. But I think that so in the modeling industry, there's lots of hermaphroditic people because they have that really slender, skinny boy body, but look like a girl.
Okay, I'm going to say 2 things. Eve, keep this in if you keep in this what Carrie just said. And one is, okay, that's interesting. Didn't know that. And 2, viewers, listeners, don't take that to heart. I don't know that Carrie actually knows what the fuck she's talking about with this. So I'm going to sprinkle in allegedly. I'm just saying,
my friend's a model booker. And was talking about how many extremely successful runway models are intersex.
But you don't have to double down. I get it.
All right, that's all. Bye.
Don't double down and tell me again.
All right, and the winner is Jamie Lee Curtis.
I think Jane Fonda could have won too.
Jane Fonda, she's still winning. And she beat cancer. Good for you, Jane.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, best hot dad.
Oof, name somebody. Paul Rudd in anything.
Has he played a dad?
Yeah, this is 30. This is 40 or whatever.
Yeah. You're right.
He's starting to look old now, and I'm okay with that. He's getting a little too skinny playing Ant-Man. He's a little too buffed. He's losing some of that fullness in the face that's keeping him young, and he's starting to look older, but still like a zaddy.
I gotta tell you, every review I hear of Ant-Man of this new Ant-Man is how bad it is, and that everyone in the movie seems like they don't want to be there.
Probably Paul Rudd included.
Yes, he is included.
That's all right.
I mean, the paycheck, I'm sure, helps.
Yeah.
Best hot dad. Who is a hot?
Penn Badgley.
Yeah, but he hasn't played. Oh, I guess he is a dad in You. Yeah. All right, sure. Penn Badgley again, because I can't think of anybody else right now.
All right, and the winner is Paul Rudd, always.
Yeah, I agree on that. That's a safe one.
Sexiest man alive.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it you or me?
You, I think.
You. It's always you.
It's always you.
Worse. Character that you most want to be this year.
Tar. No. That movie was so I love Cate Blanchett.
I know, I love her too.
And that movie was just like, I just felt like they were just trying to be like, let's show you how good Cate Blanchett is with close to no storyline.
I think so too.
Like, She's so good. We don't even need a story for this movie.
You're just going to want to watch her face. That's it.
You're right. You're right.
Good. I told you I went to that thing with my friend Arena, and she was stunningly gorgeous in real life.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
I was just like, I want to eat whatever you're eating.
Yes.
I want those glasses. I want that outfit.
She dresses well. She's so stunning.
And she was nice to the people that were like working for her. I was like, I love all of this.
Oh, I know who it is.
Okay, go.
The character I most want to be this year is Ariana DeBose at the BAFTA Awards. Angela Bassett did the thing. Yeah. That's who I want to be this year.
Okay, the character I most want to be is the Italian hooker.
Oh, in
White Lotus.
White Lotus?
Yes.
Yeah, I would take that.
Either one, really, because their clothes were awesome. I love a little Italian bob.
I didn't really like their clothes.
Money. Oh, I did. They were so
They look
Euro
so cheap
trashy.
And Euro-y.
I loved it. I loved it.
It is your style.
I loved it. I was like, give me a fringed Alaskan boot, and for the winter, and then let's put a mini skirt with it. Let's do it.
Like a rhinestoned Chanel t-shirt that actually says Channel, you know?
It's like, I loved every part of it. I just loved it. So I want to be them.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Which movie title name from a nominated film would you use as your porn/drag name? Or best, let's change it. Best movie title name from a nominated film that you would like to use as your porn/drag name.
Okay, I have it. I had a couple.
Triangle of Sadness. That's mine.
Look, okay, ready?
Yeah.
I had a couple. I pulled them up. It should just be Tar. No, it's the indie film that's like the one about the penis or whatever that one was. Hold on.
The one.
Okay, hold on.
I think Triangle of Sadness. There aren't even other nominations yet, and I think that's the
Banshee of Inishmen. No, but that's not the one I was thinking of. Hold on. Pause.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
That's me in a nutshell. Hold on, here it is. The Whale.
That is really good as a drag porn name. I like that.
The Whale. No, hold on. Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. The Sea Beast. Sea Beast. Turning red.
Just Megan.
No, hold on. There's another one. Where is it? Oh my gosh. It'll be worth it, guys. Or The House Made of Splinters.
That was a movie?
Yeah.
The Barbarian.
Top Gun Maverick.
Or Barbarian. It was just Barbarian.
My Year of Dicks.
That was a movie?
Best animated short film. My Year of Dicks. They had to read that out loud at the nominations.
Is it a kids movie or just an animated film?
It's just an animated film.
Oh my God.
I hope it's not a kids movie.
Oh my God. All right. Move on. And the winner is
My Year of Dicks. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
Best/worst movie that made your life seem actually okay.
Tar.
The Banshee of Inishmen.
I didn't see that one, but yeah.
It's like your father problems, and you're from actually the place that they filmed that movie is this like rare island in Ireland that I made Lee go to, and he's like, "Why are you taking me here?" I was like, "It's known to be one of the least hospitable places to live." He's like, "Why do we go visit it?" I was like, "It's famous. It's famous for the playwrights."
I'm with Lee on this one.
Anyway, do you have one?
Yeah, Tar.
Tar. Oh, right. And the winner is Tar because it's probably not going to win anything. Okay. Your turn.
Or Blonde. Blonde could be another nomination.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oof.
Best movie to completely fall asleep at because, you're exhausted.
Tar.
And the winner is Tar. Yeah. Tar, congratulations to the entire team at Tar for taking home the most trophies this year.
You have a Lifetime Achievement Award and you've only been around for a year.
Yeah.
Good work.
All right. #swagbag.
My swag bag is Lumi, vagina, asshole, and underpit and under boob deodorant. Get yours at Lumi.com.
Mine is the show that Francesca is currently on Netflix. So Friday, when we were upstate at my parents' house, Friday we had a day where it was just like I said to my mom, I said, remember back in the day before there was like on demand and streaming channels where we would have like a day to just rest at home and get caught up in some marathon on a TV show on a channel of a reality show we had never watched and just be like absolutely hooked. I want that feeling. And she was like, yeah, me too. So we found Perfect Match on Netflix, which is basically like, you know how every reality universe has like a show that brings all the reality stars together now?
Yes.
This is the Netflix one.
Okay.
So it has Francesca, it has Damien, who you and I can't fucking stand.
I know.
It has all these people from all these Netflix shows I don't watch.
How about The Circle? Is that anybody from The Circle?
Yes, lots of people from The Circle. In fact, my newest girl crush, I haven't watched it, but my newest girl crush, Inez, comes from The Circle, France. I just think she is the most beautiful girl and like so elegant and like in this group of women with their underboobs hanging out and like
the underboob women. This is your favorite.
Yeah, no, because she's wearing like Mary Jane's and a really pretty like French Cézanne outfit. Like she's just everything. If you watch this,
je ne sais quoi.
Yes, Carrie, if you watch this, because I know you will, because you like these kinds of reality shows, You'll see what I mean. You'll like Inez too. Like just the perfect little French girl.
Love it.
And it's just fun, mindless, escapist.
Is she giving
TV.
you trying to snap Jerry Seinfeld when she's underage vibe?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. She reminds me of a girl I worked with in LA who was French, who was the kind of girl who like dated Vincent Cassel and
of course.
And, right, like knew like Jack White when he came in, and like you know what I mean. Like I have a friend, like the French.
I have a friend who's not French.
Coquette.
Her name's Bethany, and she like dated Ryan Gosling. I almost said the Gosling that has Johnny Cape. Listen, I almost said she dated John Gosling. Ryan Gosling. She like knows the White Stripes.
Right. Like those girls, you know, we all know a girl like that.
She was in 2 Killer music videos, The Killers.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And you can't hate them because their charm and their beauty is like so infectious that you're just like, I just want to be. I remember this girl put on a different playlist in the restaurant. And the owner, who was notoriously a dick to most people, I was not one of them, but he came over to her and he goes, did you change the music after I put it on? She goes, yes. And he goes, why'd you do that? And she goes, because I wanted to defy you. And I was like, you fucking cunt. How did you come up with that? How did you come up with that? And how did you?
I want to use that because I wanted to defy you.
Because I wanted to defy you. Zach and I talk about this all the time because we're just like, how do you get away with this?
Audacity, but I love it.
If I tried that, if I was like, I wanted to defy you, people would be like, the fuck? What is this? Are you sick? Like, you know. Anyway, Inez is that kind of bitch where you're just like, you could take a dump on my face and I'd be like, okay, great. Sure, whatever you want.
Male.
And to clarify, I'm not into that. I just want to say, like, that is not a thing I'd like normally, so.
Maybe if you're the right person. Maybe.
Anyway, great show, everybody. Wishing you all a wonderful week. I hope no one shits on your face.
And if they do say, I did it to defy you.
I did it to defy you. Little coquette.
You did a pretty good, like, French porn voice.
Well, I spent enough time with this girl where I was just like, I just want to be you. Like, how are you so
charming?
Naturally and instinctually just everything. Like, just.
Well, friends, have a great week. Go defy someone. Use a French accent.
Bye.
Bye.